Okay, tell the truth. Are you spending too much time on social media creating content because that's what you're supposed to do, but you're just not seeing the clients come in the door? You need Post with Purpose, our social media membership site made just for estheticians and spa owners that will help you get crystal clear on what to say and when, and teach you our content creation system that'll have you knocking out a month's worth of content, yes, a month, in just a couple of hours. Sound good? Check out our $7 for 7-day trial and take back your time today. Hello, my dears. Daniela here, and welcome to another episode of the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. My team and I talk a lot about how we can provide the most valuable content possible for you, the spa owner, here on the podcast. And something that came up this year was the concept of doing lunch and learn style episodes for different brands in the industry. Now, by listening to an episode about a brand, you can decide if you want to learn more about them and potentially bring them in as a partner in your business, or you can simply have an overview of the line, what they're about, which is always important because you never want to be caught in a situation where a client asks you about a skincare line and your thoughts on it, and you have no idea. And there's so many lines in our industry. We wanted to make it as easy as possible for you to consume that information and at least have a general idea of the brands that are out there today. So for this interview, I've got my friend Teresa joining me. She's an account rep for Jan Marini. She's also a licensed esthetician with over 16 years of experience in the cosmetic aesthetics industry. Now, most of her career has been in medical skincare sales, working for well-respected brands like SkinCeuticals and Sente before joining Jan Marini. And that's actually how we met back in the day when I first started Addo Aesthetics and I was spending my time consulting with the various physician-dispensed skincare companies. I was doing a job for one of those brands and I got to spend the day going to her accounts with her and kind of shadowing her to learn more about the product and how they were interacting with their clients, etc. And I was really impacted by her approach because she truly identifies as a consultant rather than a salesperson. She invests in her clients. She has always been so strong on education and focusing on that piece so that her clients can reach their long-term goals. So she's a wealth of knowledge. Such an honor to have her on the podcast. So now, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play that interview so you guys can learn all about Jan Marini. All right, Teresa, welcome to the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. I'm so excited to have you on and share with our listeners all about Jan Marini.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is so exciting and I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to fill you in on all the wonderful things happening at Jan Marini Skin Research.
Now, what I think is really interesting is, you've been in the industry for a long time. You've worked with a lot of really incredible brands. You've got a great knowledge of the aesthetics industry as a whole. And I've seen some of the posts that you've done on LinkedIn talking about how much you love this line, how much you love this brand, like how much you believe in it and stand behind it. And so for me, knowing your background, knowing your knowledge, that carries a lot of weight. And I'm just like, wow, that's so interesting. So what is it that really made you fall in love with this line?
That's a big question, and I'll give you a big answer. Because I think there's multiple layers to this, to that answer, to be honest with you. I've always been fascinated, to be honest with you, with Jan Marini as a founder, as someone who really, is a trailblazer in this industry from the 90s. And so I've always been a big fan of Jan Marini herself, our founder. And I think she's an incredible entrepreneur and an incredible individual who just looks at things really outside the box as far as formulations and how to approach skin. And so I've always been a big fan of her in particular. During my career, I have used Jan Marini Skin Research products along the way, in addition to the other companies that I've worked for. And the number one thing that I always found, and what I definitely experience now, which I'll get into, is there's always fast results without the irritation. There's always the nourishing element that these technologies provide. So even if you're tackling hyperpigmentation, which is something I've always had an issue with, various types of hyperpigmentation, and adult acne, which is also something I've also had a challenge with throughout my career, with these products, they will help correct, prevent in a very fast amount of time. But in addition to that, I still feel like I'm getting so many nutrients and my skin feels nourished and healthy. Whereas some products, some technologies, some philosophies of how to tackle those skin concerns with different skincare lines, they have great technologies for correction, but it can leave the skin very vulnerable and very irritated and very dry and all sorts of other problems. And my experience with, Jan Marini Skin Research products from when I was a young buck many, many years ago in this industry to now, where the innovations have just expanded and grown, it's always been a positive experience for me. Lastly, I want to finish with what really pulled me at this point in my career to Jan Marini Skin Research is not just the innovation in technologies and the fact that, it is supported by science. We have several different peer-reviewed and published pieces of science behind our technologies, which, as you know, with our relationship, that's always been near and dear to my heart. I can't represent something that doesn't have the proof. And these guys have done all the work and have the proof and the most credibility in that sense. But also, I would definitely have to say the culture, not just internally, but the culture out within the industry to our customers. Jan Marini Skin Research, in my opinion, offers so many tools and so many resources and is so business centric. I know that word gets thrown around. And provides so much that you really can't go wrong. There's so many turnkey solutions to be able to build your business. It's not just, let's just dump these great technologies and you're on your own, because as well as I do, that doesn't work. And so I was so attractive outside of Jan Marini Skin Research before I joined the company to their reputation for that. And I'm even more in love and attracted to it now that I have so many resources to offer as an ADM in San Diego to my particular partners and future potential partners that you really just can't go wrong. It's the perfect solution in our industry, in my opinion.
That's wonderful. And yeah, like I know we're kind of preaching to the choir here, but I feel like whenever you are choosing a brand to bring into your spa, like one of the most important questions is like, how is that company going to support you and help you move the product, help you educate your team, help you to, stay like with the cutting edge technology, that how to communicate that to your clients, that how to communicate that just the advancements in technology, because that's something that, just in the time that I've been in the industry since 2006, it is a completely different industry from, what we could do in 2006 versus what we can do now, even just with skincare is amazing. Right?
Absolutely.
So tell me, who is the perfect spa for Jan Marini? Like what, if you're looking at like, who is this line for?
The way that we approach our business, as far as our customers and our accounts, we look at the business as a whole and, how we want the brand represented. Branding, as you've done a phenomenal job with your company. Branding is so important, not just for the company at hand, but for your customers, right? You want to make certain that you're offering superior innovations and support and have this, amazing brand. However, you don't want it to be a situation where the brand is saturated or it's found everywhere and anywhere type of situation, because that doesn't do your own accounts really any good in the long term. So we are very particular. We typically focus our partnerships towards dermatologists, plastic surgeons, medical spas, skincare facilities that are true skincare facilities. Their focus is truly skincare versus kind of a hodgepodge of different beauty types of things. And then, of course, independent estheticians that are, that do run maybe a smaller business. But I'm always careful with that because, as because you've always been one of them, you could have what appears to be a small business, but you do big business, which is always awesome to come about. So, and then, of course, we definitely target the destination spas as well. We, in addition to that, we have an amazing partnership with Massage Envies as well, as one of their primary line. And in fact, we're very proud of the fact that we won, most or vendor of the year last year with them. And, we're very proud of that. So we carefully place Jan Marini Skin Research technologies in our partnerships within those different market segments. And it's been a great success. We've had tremendous growth year over year. We had tremendous growth in 2020 when, many companies did not. I'm proud to say, and I wear this as a badge of honor in the sense that, Jan Marini Skin Research didn't furlough anyone. We kept all of our employees across the board. A big reason why is because of our partnerships, of our very secure, loyal partnerships that we have, and the fact that as a company, we provided so many different alternative tools and resources to adapt to the situation. We did a lot of virtual eventing with different facilities. We did a lot of IG lives, fully funded, vendor support. We have an amazing e-commerce program that everyone every one of our partnerships has access to. So going back to your initial question, the ideal partner falls within those parameters that I mentioned. And really it's sky's the limit. This could be a line where you can bring in that complements your other lines, right? Because we truly have innovations, retail products and treatments for every skin type and pretty much every skin concern walking through the door. So this can complement what somebody is already offering, in addition to the fact that this could truly be your one and only primary line. You would literally be able to offer a full comprehensive offering to every single client walking through the door with Jan Marini Skin Research.
So tell me though, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, but the way that I see skincare, I feel like all the brands, they have their superstars and then they fill in the gaps. So, sure. And it doesn't mean that filling in the gaps is a bad product, but they have the things that there are their superstars that everybody loves. Like, if you think of SkinCeuticals, you think of CE Ferulic, right? Like that's just what it is. If you think of Skin Medica, you think of TNS, right? So what is Jan Marini's, what are their superstar products? What are their what gets people like, oh, I love this. This is I've got to have this type of product.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And you're right. Every line has their superstars. We definitely have a large handful of core products that people may start with because they are the big fan favorites, or they are talked about the most, or, just across the board, it's what we're known for. I have to say, our Siesta products, our approach with antioxidant technologies, with our Siesta products, our Siesta serum and our Siesta cream, are definitely across the board huge fan favorites. So we do have a completely different approach with our antioxidant technologies, because we not only offer an antioxidant within a product, but we also offer an antioxidant that has additional ingredients that help firm and contour and lift the skin. So it's just a little bit of a different offering to the skin, and people love it. I would also have to say, within the retail line, we're really known for our product, our duality product, which comes in our standard duality, as well as an MD version, which is MD exclusive. And that's something I didn't mention earlier, but we do have some MD exclusive retail products as well as treatments, that only, physician-based businesses have access to. But across the board, duality is such a unique technology in tackling acne or problematic skin, and also keeping it at bay, without getting into the technology too deep. I can tell you it's a combination of BPO as well as our all trans retinol. And in addition to some of those nourishing and nourishment ingredients, so that you're not drying and stripping the skin and making it angry. And I think that Jan Marini Skin Research, and the formulations and all the formulators that took part in that, I think that they formulated something that just truly doesn't exist outside of Jan Marini Skin Research. And it's such a unique product. It's one of my absolute favorite. It has done amazing things for my skin, for having to, always tackle adult acne. So those are the few that come to mind. There's definitely our Hyla 3D, which is a huge fan favorite. That is a different cocktail of hyaluronic acid based ingredients for volumizing, for really hydrating the skin, giving that skin life again. And then, definitely some of our core SPF protectors, our antioxidant SPF 33, which has always been a fan favorite. The one product I don't want to miss, because I cannot live without it, and I started using it even before I joined the company, is my Marini Luminate product. And it's an alternative skin lightening product to a 4% hydroquinone. We actually have a split face study showing that it was or is equivalent to a 4% hydroquinone product, or outperformed as far as the results go. And it truly has. It's done wonders. I have hormonally induced hyperpigmentation, specifically in my forehead area and on my cheeks. And I've done years and years of hydroquinone, but after a while, sometimes it doesn't work. It's not the healthiest to use long term. And this has truly been an alternative to that, where I can honestly say, better results than hydroquinone. So those are just some star products right off the top of my head that we're known for. I think it goes back, though, to be honest with you, to science-based products, fast results, and products that will also offer just nourishment to the skin without, completely stripping the skin and having a whole collection of other issues. But we do have great facials to complement all of those products for services. We have some phenomenal peels that, again, give some really fast results and enhance your results overall. So just, you can tell I'm just absolutely in love, obsessed with this line. I honestly can't say enough about it.
So I just have one more quick question before we give everyone the information of Jan Marini and all of that kind of stuff. But you had talked in the beginning about how you love the culture of this company in the sense that they are providing so many additional resources for business building and stuff like that. So you mentioned during the pandemic, you were doing virtual events, helping with e-com. Can you just touch on a little bit more, like what are some of the ways that you support your accounts? If someone wanted to bring on this line and they're looking at truly becoming a partner, like what can they expect as far as resources available or support from the company? You said there's some interesting ways that they can help.
Sure. I think the key thing to keep in mind is that when you become a Jan Marini Skin Research partner, you truly are a part of our partnership family. I think that's the key thing is no matter the size of your business, big or small, we have a solution for everyone. And we really take the time to build that solution with our new partnerships. I can honestly say there's a lot of lip service out there where a lot of companies will tell you that, but they don't do it. And we have such an incredible internal team from our education team that offers extended education constantly. So one of the ways to answer your questions there is not only do you get local support and education from someone like myself, who is an ADM, where I can come in and educate the team on product knowledge and help with protocols and things like that. But then there's an extension to me and an extension to all of our ADMs across the country where there's this very large and just highly tenured education team that we have that goes beyond. And during the pandemic and even now, every single month, we have several different types of training you can register for. And it's all free. It's all fully vendor supported and funded, where you can learn treatment protocols. You can learn about product knowledge, but they're live virtual events. So I think we do an amazing job there from educating and making people feel comfortable from the get-go there. In addition to that, we sit down and we put together actual business plans with every single one of our partnerships. And the key points that we like to touch on to help drive business or just sales drivers in general is you've got to drive awareness through different campaigns, patient outreach or client outreach, different promotions, right? Get people engaged to want to try new stuff. How do you do that? Well, you're the queen at it, social media platforms, right? Everything from we can help and we do help with Instagram, even as little as just we can teach you how to open up an Instagram account because some people don't know how to do that. And that's okay.
A lot more people than you think don't know how to do that.
Exactly. And it can be very intimidating. And I believe we're very empathetic to that. And we take that to heart. It's not kind of like, oh, well, you're on your own there. We take the time. We actually have an entire department that just deals with social media platforms. And you actually have access as a partner to have a one-on-one meeting with them to learn more about social media, and they can help you open up your different accounts. They can talk to you about the importance of all the different algorithms, when to post, how to post, what content to post. We provide content. It's really, truly endless. So, we think it's important to have that, their consumer engagement. So with our social media resources and our support there, we're not only helping them with engagement with their current clients and patients, but we're also helping with the farther reach, right? Yeah, we're helping them through social media platforms to reach so much farther and able, for an opportunity to maintain, to get new clients and patients. Merchandising support, it's all about branding. We talked about earlier. We don't just ship a box and again, you're on your own. We don't do that. We take it very seriously how the brand is represented. We want to be able to help our partners with that. So we have the planograms and, I come in personally and set things up. Lastly, and I think this is probably one of the most important to all business owners, but especially newer business owners, is patient and client retention and sell through, right?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I have a whole module in Spa Retail Rockstar that's all about client retention, because there's this quote or stat from Harvard Business Review that says a 5% increase in client retention increases your profits by 25 to 95%. And we have seen over and over and over again that when spas put the focus on building deep relationships with their existing clients rather than being on that constant hamster wheel of, I need new clients, I need new clients, I need new clients, their profit goes through the roof. Because you do need new clients, right? You lose about 20% of your client base per year for lots of reasons. But really going deep and serving the people that already have said yes to you, that already have that know, like, and trust factor with you, it's such a game changer.
I couldn't agree more. And I mean, I believe that is true across the board, whether you're selling business to business like I do, or you're selling direct to consumer. If somebody invests in you and your services as an esthetician, and your knowledge, you have to return that. You have to be invested in them. And that's how I go about my business personally. But I think that across the board, I can kind of speak for the majority of my counterparts out there that, within Jan Marini Skin Research, that we invest in our partnerships because they are investing in us. They have so many choices out there and could go so many different directions. But, as far as our current partners, being able to show them the value of that philosophy with their own clients and patients, getting their clients and patients to walk through the door more often than not. It doesn't stop at an injectable. It doesn't have to stop at a facial, and it's not, I think the key thing here, and this is, I think what we do well as a company, but what I really like to do when I do my trainings is, you don't have to be a salesperson. I always tell people all the time in my trainings, especially my estheticians and my physicians, pretty much across the board, everyone says, I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to feel salesy. You don't have to be. I don't want you to be. But what you do have to do is you have to educate your clients and your patients. You have to do your due diligence because they're investing in you. You need to invest in them from the time that they make that appointment with you to the time that you're done with your treatment. And, you want to make certain, and this is what I think we do really well with different sell-through strategies, but especially our consultation solution process that we have here. We have something called the good, better, and best consultation process. And it's phenomenal because you do just that. You are never a salesperson when you adopt this consultation process, because all you do is you find out the goals of your clients and your patients, and you address those with different options as far as products, right? And it's that simple. Nobody's selling anything. It's up to the individual to decide what they can afford, what they can't afford, maybe what their number one goal is, what it isn't. But that's something that I think we do a very good job of. I think people adopt it fairly quickly. They get it. It seems to be fairly instant. And then in addition to other things, like I mentioned before, you want to stay engaged in a time when there aren't as many patients walking through the door or clients, or maybe they're afraid to come, or whatever your situation may be. You can still reach to them. You can still have virtual events. You can still invest in them. and keep them coming back virtually, right?
I think we've learned a lot with the pandemic, and there's been so many things that I think will continue. We've seen that e-com has advanced 5 years in the 1 year. There was just an article about that I read. And the, virtual consultations, adding a virtual component to your in-person evenings of beauty or whatever you're doing. I mean, there's so many pieces that have forced us to change the way that we think about doing business. And a lot of them are great. A lot of them are things that will stay around, so it's, I always like to see the silver lining, right? There's always good. Absolutely. So, okay. Tell me where people can go if they want to learn more about Jan Marini.
Absolutely. I think our website is, very well done in general, as far as learning about the company as a whole, learning about our internal community, our culture, how we approach our partners, lots of before and after photos. We have an amazing pro site on there as well. So at janmarini.com, it's that simple. To visit our website, there's, like I said, there's different categories you can click on to take a look at what our products can offer. What does it look like to become a partner? A lot of the business marketing support and tools that I mentioned earlier are reiterated on the website in more detail.
So I'm assuming if they go to the website, there's a spot where it just says, I want to learn more. They can enter their information.
Absolutely. So there is, they can go ahead and put in their information, and they're usually contacted within 24 hours. There's pretty quick turnaround on that to, depending upon what area they're in. We are all notified as the ADMs, pretty immediate. One thing I want to add on there, which I think is a huge benefit, is if you do go to our pro site when you're on there, you are actually able to attend a lot of our virtual trainings, even if you are not a Jan Marini Skin Research partner. So it's a nice way to do like a little audit, and just kind of see what we're all about and take a look at it. So I always think that's kind of a nice little tool, and it's completely free, whereas a lot of companies would typically charge.
That's wonderful. So, Teresa, thank you so much for your time. It was lovely to reconnect with you and hear all about this line. And for those of you who are wanting to learn more about Jan Marini, be sure to go to the website, click the link. We've got it below this video. And of course, if you want to keep the conversation going, head on over to the Spa Marketing Made Easy Facebook group, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great time.